This is the Seine River, the second longest river in France. It stretches for over 700 kilometers, originates in the city of Dijon, and flows through Paris. It's an iconic landmark, a highway for boats, and an inspiration for painters. Monet's Bathers at La Grenouillière and Renoir's The Seine at Asnières captured its beauty. Today, you can go on a romantic stroll, a picnic, and even catch a glimpse of the Eiffel Tower. But you can't swim. In fact, swimming in the river has been banned for the last 100 years. But French authorities will soon change that. Before we get into that, let's turn back the clock. In medieval Paris, people had no running water. They used to depend on water from the Seine River for everyday chores. It was a major source of water supply. Napoleon Bonaparte built Canal Saint-Martin and Bassin de la Villette to supply water to public fountains. The Seine River was a natural public bath for Parisians. In 1813, the river supplied water to the iconic Louvre. In 1900, Paris organized its first ever Olympic Games. Swimming competitions were held in the river, but in 1923, French authorities banned people from taking a dip in the river. The urban expansion of Paris ruined the Seine River basin. Rising pollution, metal, and fecal bacteria made the river filthy. A river that was immortalized in art and literature was ecologically dying. It was unsafe for swimmers. If it was unsafe for swimmers, imagine how toxic it would have been for the marine life. With the declining quality of water, only 3 fish species survived in the river by the 1960s. Today, species like the European eel, the Atlantic salmon, and the sea trout have found their way back to the river. But that didn't solve the problem. Now, French authorities have rolled up their sleeves to revive this river, and they mean business. Authorities are determined to pick up every last plastic bag and cigarette butt floating in the river. Let's first talk money. How much does the plan cost? A whopping $1.5 billion. Efforts to clean the river started back in 2018. The project was named Swimming Plan. France is now in the last leg of the cleanup operation. The deadline is July 2024, the Paris Olympics. 2 disinfection units at wastewater treatment plants will soon be functional. These structures will help improve water quality. Poor plumbing across the city is being worked on. Authorities are also seeking the support of boat owners. There's a long road ahead. But officials say that their efforts have already started showing results. Parts of the river which will be used during the Olympics have met standards 91% of the time. Basically, France is going all out to revive the Seine, as they should. They have another mammoth task at hand, organizing the Olympics, and they are not doing it the traditional way. The opening ceremony will be held on the Seine River. It'll also be used for triathlon events. This project is being looked at as an important investment to transform Paris. Reducing cars and improving the air quality are the cornerstones of this project. The Seine River is getting ready to greet more than 10,000 Olympians and over 4,000 Paralympians by July next year. The stakes are high. As they say, without the Seine, there would be no Paris. And so, this project is close to the hearts of Parisians. The Seine cleanup has an emotional impact on the locals and will be an inspiration for others. The river has stood the test of time, and soon enough, it will flow in its full glory.
The US and Russia are dangerously close to an armed conflict. This year, 2023, New Delhi will be the capital of global diplomacy. For a country as diverse as ours, with 88% of the population illiterate, it was a very big deal to write a constitution, and that too, the world's largest. Meanwhile, if we may, here's a Republic Day gift from India for the BBC. A list of suggestions for the BBC for their upcoming documentaries. Number 1, the Kohinoor and the colonial loot. Number 2, an outdated monarchy and unhealthy obsession with the royals. Number 3, racism in 2023. We're waiting. The US and Russia are dangerously close to an armed conflict. This year, 2023, New Delhi will be the capital of global diplomacy. For a country as diverse as ours, with 88% of the population illiterate, it was a very big deal to write a constitution, and that too, the world's largest. Meanwhile, if we may, here's a Republic Day gift from India for the BBC. A list of suggestions for the BBC for their upcoming documentaries. Number 1, the Kohinoor and the colonial loot. Number 2, an outdated monarchy and unhealthy obsession with the royals. Number 3, racism in 2023. We're waiting.